Although Vita Health Group provided this exercise class provisional with your health and safety in mind, each individual participant has their own limitations and should consult their general practitioner or an appropriate medical professional prior to undertaking the class. Should you be prone to injury, are currently pregnant, or be managing any functional limiting medical conditions, please seek medical confirmation prior to participating. At all times, ensure you follow all instructions provided by Vita Health Groups throughout the entirety of the recording. Should you experience any symptoms of dizziness, nausea, or increased pain at any point during your participation, please stop and seek the appropriate advice from your general practitioner or the 111 service.
Hello and welcome to today's class. My name's Danny and I will be your instructor for today. This class is our ankle and foot advanced class. So we're obviously focusing on ankle and foot injuries, particularly focused on that end stage rehabilitation. This class is going to involve sort of advanced single leg strengthening exercises, as well as some proprioception training and a lot of sort of force production and force acceptance exercises. All of the equipment that you will need for today's class is going to be shown on screen. So all you need to do is grab a drink and then I will meet you back here for our warm-up. Let's get started with our warm-up then. So with this warm-up, we're aiming to increase our heart rate, activate the muscles, increase mobility, all ready for our exercise class that's coming up. So we're going to start off nice and simple with just some marching on the spot. We're going to be doing this for 1 minute. Do it at your own pace, whether you want to go nice and slow or quite fast, completely up to you. Fab, let's get going for 1 minute then. Make sure we're swinging those arms, lifting the feet nice and high whilst we're marching. Remember, we're working to increase that heart rate. So just taking it at your own pace. That's great, keep swinging those arms, lifting those knees nice and high. And we are nearly halfway there. Great. Again, taking it at your own pace, just as we start the warm-up. Okay, 10 more seconds. Great, and bring that down to a stop. Brilliant. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're just going to do some jogging on the spot this time. We're only going to go for 30 seconds this time. Again, doing it at your own pace. Just make sure that you've got a nice, safe environment around you. Okay, when we're ready, off we go. Again, make sure we're moving those arms and lifting those feet nice and high off the floor. That's it, halfway there. Good, 5 seconds left. And bring it down to a stop. Brilliant. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to do some hip circles. So for this one, I want your feet sort of shoulder width apart on the floor and the hands just resting on your hips. We're going to start off with very small circles. So we're going to sort of push the hips to one side, bring them round to the front and round to the back. Again, just do them at your own pace, and also with the circle, just make it as small or as big as you can, depending on how you're feeling. We're going to go for 30 seconds. When we're ready, off we go. That's it. So just make sure we're concentrating on really pushing those hips all the way around the movement. That's good. Because we're coming up to halfway, we're going to switch and go in the opposite direction. Again, like I said, if you need to do small circles with how you're feeling at the moment, that's absolutely fine. Or nice and big circles, doesn't matter. Great, and come to a stop. Okay, for the next exercise, we're going to go into doing some leg swings. For this one, I'm going to do it just freestanding, but if you need to, you can hold onto a wall, hold onto the back of a chair, whichever works best for you. We're going to start off with our right leg. So again, like I said, holding onto something for stability if needs be. We're going to go for 30 seconds. We're just going to lift the leg out in front of us and then slowly lift behind. Okay, off we go. So just swinging that leg at your own pace. Like I said, if you need to hold on to something, then that's absolutely fine. Good. That's great. Keeping the knee nice and straight and just swinging back and forwards. That's it. We've got 5 seconds left on this leg and then we'll switch over. Great. Okay. So if you need to swing the chair around to the other side or reposition yourself so that you can hold onto the wall the opposite way, that's fine. And then we'll go for 30 seconds again. So on the left leg this time, swinging back and forth. That's great. Again, just doing it at your own pace, lifting the leg in a range of movement that's comfortable for you. Good. Okay, 10 seconds left on this leg. Great, and come to a stop, just back into our resting position. So the next activity that we're going to do is going to be with our arms. We're going to go for some arm circles. So what we'll do, we'll start off with our right arm because we started with our right leg. We'll pop our hand out to the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with some circles, just going backwards like this. If you need to do the circles nice and small, that's absolutely fine. Obviously, if you can, then we're going to do nice big circles with the arm. Again, just do whatever feels comfortable for you at the moment. And again, we're going to go for 30 seconds. That's it. Like I said, make sure we're doing this one in a comfortable range of movement. It can be as small or as big as you need at the moment. That's great, we've done 15 seconds on this arm. That's great, last 5 seconds. Brilliant, okay. And this time we're going to do the exact same on the left arm. So again, arm out to the side, you can do small circles if you need to, obviously big ones if you can as well. Fab, off we go, 30 seconds on this one. That's great. Again, just going at the speed that sort of works for you at the moment. If you need to move nice and slowly through this movement, that's fine. Obviously, if you can, then obviously we'll go a bit quicker. That's great, and just 5 more seconds. Perfect, okay. Last exercise of our warm-up, we're going to do some movements with our spine. So we're going to work in 4 different directions. We're going to go for a forward movement, a backwards movement, and then side to side as well. So what I'll do first is I'll show you what we're going to do, and then I'll explain how many we're going to do after that. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart again. For the forwards movement, I'd like you to have your hands resting on the front of your legs. And then what I want you to do nice and slowly is just come down as far as you can until you start to feel that bit of a stretch in the lower back, and then return up to your neutral position. Then we'll go for the opposite. So this time I'll turn to the side to show you, you're gonna lean backwards. Again, just a gentle movement, and back up to the neutral position. Then hands down by our sides. It doesn't matter which side you do first, but you're gonna bend over to the side, back up, and over to the other side. We're going to do 5 in each direction. Again, just going as far as you can. Okay, we'll do them all together. So if we start at the front, we're going to come down, just go as far as you can, and then back up to that neutral position. Then we're going to lean back, again to the neutral position, hands down by our sides, drop one hand down the side of the leg, back up, and then over to the side. So that's 1 repetition. So now we'll go for our second. So again, we're going to come back down the front, nice and slowly and controlled. And then this time lean backwards. Great, and then down to one side, back up and over into the other direction. Brilliant, on to number 3, so back to the front, coming down as far as you can, and back up, and then leaning back, and back into that neutral position. Hands down by our sides, and we'll go over to one side, and back up, then over to the other side, and back up. And now for number 4, back to the front, leaning forwards, and back up. Hands on our hips, and we'll lean backwards, back to our neutral position, and down to one side, and back over to the other direction. Brilliant, last one now, hands back on the front. We're gonna lean down as far as we can, back up to the middle, hands on our hips, and lean back to the middle, and then this time we'll drop down one side, back up, and then down to the other side. Okay, that completes our warm-up. So if you want to go and grab a bottle of water ready for our exercise class, and we'll get started. Okay, so this exercise is called heel walking. As it says in the name, we're going to be walking forwards on our heels. Make sure you've got some space in front of you to be able to walk. If you've got enough space, we're going to be going for 30 seconds. So that's great if you've got enough space to do it in one straight line. If you haven't, we're just going to turn around and come back where we started. Okay, so let's go for 30 seconds. So onto our heels, off we go. You should feel this in the front of the lower legs, in the muscles that are keeping our toes lifted. Okay. That's it, keep those toes as high off the floor as you can. If you need your arms out for balance, that's fine. Keep those toes up. That's great. Okay, and relax there. Brilliant, okay, that's the end of the first set. So if you need a little break, we're gonna take 20 seconds, get yourself a drink, and then we'll come back and do another 30 seconds. Okay, and on to our second set of these, exactly the same thing. So remember, we're trying to pull those toes up off the floor as much as we can. We're gonna go for 30 seconds again. So when you're ready, off we go. Nice small steps, going at your own pace. On your heels, like I said, you should feel it in the front of the lower leg. Great, nice steady breathing. Keeping those toes off the floor. Great, okay, that's the end of the second set. So we're going to take a 20-second break, grab a drink if you need one, and then we'll be back for the final set. Okay, and on to our final set. We're going to do something slightly different on this one. I'm not going to time 30 seconds. We're just going to keep going until you feel like you can't go any further, okay? So keep walking with those toes off the floor, and when you feel like you can't carry on, or the muscles are getting too tired, then just stop, okay? So off we go at our own pace, lifting the toes off the floor, on the heels. Remember, we're just going as much as you can on this one. Just go for as long as possible. Lifting those toes off the floor. Okay, if you can go for longer than I can, then that's great. Just pause the video and then when you're ready, join back in. If not, that's the end of that exercise. So we're going to take another 20-second break, grab yourself a drink if you need one, and then we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, so this exercise is called the lunge corkscrew. So we're going to be doing lunges with an added twist in there as well. So I'll show you an example first and then we'll get started. So you're going to have your planted foot where the foot is going to stay facing forwards. From here, you're going to take the opposite leg behind and to the side and rotate the body as well whilst you do this. As we then come down into our lunge, we're going to rotate back towards the front and back up into our standing position. When you get to the bottom of this movement, you're probably going to feel a stretch along the glutes and down the side of the thigh, but we're also working some twisting and turning at the ankle as well. Okay? We're going to do 8 on each side. That's going to be our first set. We'll have a rest and then we'll come back for another. Okay? So when you're ready, arms out in front. We're going to go round to the side and rotate back to the center as we come down and back up. Then we're going to rotate to the side, down to the center as we come down and back up. That's 1 repetition, so we've got 7 more. Rotate the leg and the body, back to the center as we come down and back up. Okay, same thing on the other leg. Okay, that's 2. So nice and steady. Go at your own pace. We're working up to 8 repetitions. That's 3. And 4, that's halfway. Nice steady breathing throughout. Okay, 2 more on each side. Going at your own pace and also to your own depth. Don't need to go all the way down to the floor if you find that too difficult. Okay, once we get to 8, we're going to take a 20-second break, grab yourself a drink if you need one, and then we'll come back for our second set. Okay, I'm back for our second set. So we're going to do the same thing again. I'm going to do it with my hands on my hips this time to show you a different arm placement, but the movement with our legs is completely the same. So we're going to take one leg out behind us, rotate the body, turn back to the center, and back up. Same on the opposite side, rotate, come back to the center as we come down, and back up. And that's 1, so we've got 7 more. Rotate to the center as we lunge down and back up. That's it, and we rotate to the side, bring the body to the center as we come down and back up. Okay, and then after this we've got 4 more on each side. So we're going to rotate, bring back to the center in the bottom and back up. Okay, bring the body round to the middle and back up. 3 more on each side now. Nice steady breathing throughout. Remember, we're just going to the depth that feels comfortable for you at the moment. Okay, 1 more on each leg. Last one. Okay. Fab, and that's the end of that exercise. So we're going to take 20 seconds break, go and grab yourself a drink, and then we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, for this exercise, we're going to be doing a dynamic calf stretch. So to do this, you need to make sure you've got some room in front of you, ready to sort of move forwards as we go. So what we're going to do, we're going to place one foot out in front of us with the heel of the foot on the floor, toes pointing up. With the arms, you're going to bend down and sweep down as if you were picking something up off the floor, and then step forwards. Okay, then we'll do the opposite leg, bend down and sweep forward. You should feel the stretch in the back of the calf as we come down to the bottom of that movement. We're going to keep going. Obviously, if you haven't got a really long space where you can keep continuously going, just turn around whenever you get to the point that you need to. And we're going to go for 30 seconds continuously. We'll have a break and then we'll go for a second time, okay? So into the starting position with the space clear in front of you, and off we go for 30 seconds. So down and sweep up, step forwards, next foot, down and sweep up. Good, as you come to the bottom of this movement, you should feel the stretch in the back of the calf. Okay, when you need to, turn round, up. Just going down as far as you can, comfortably. Great, okay. That's the end of our first set of that exercise then. So we're going to take 20 seconds break, grab a drink if you need one, and then we'll come back and do it again. Okay, let's get started with our second set of this exercise. Then we're going to do the exact same thing. So make sure you've got the space free in front of you, and off we go for another 30 seconds. That's it. Nice and steady throughout 30 seconds. Taking your time throughout the stretch. At your own pace, keep going. That's great. Okay, brilliant. Right, let's take another 20 seconds rest, have a drink if you need one, and then we'll come back and do this one for a third and final time. Okay, let's get going then with our third set. Same thing again, make sure you've got the space free in front of you, and off we go for 30. That's it, just coming down as low as you can. On this one, it should just be a gentle stretch in the back of the calf. If we're getting pain, then it might be that we're just going too far, so maybe don't bend down as close to the ground. Okay, and taking nice, gentle steps, keeping those toes pointed up towards the ceiling. Okay, brilliant. So that is the end of that exercise. We're going to take another 20-second break. Make sure you get a drink if you need one, and then we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, so this exercise is our single leg bounding. For this one, we're going to be going side to side, so make sure that you've got some room in the room that you're in. What we're going to do is from our central position, we're going to almost do a little hop over to one side and land on the one leg, and then we're going to come over to the other side, okay? We're going to do 10 in each direction, then we'll have a rest, and then we'll go again, okay? When we're landing in those positions, make sure we're really trying to focus on the balance and trying to keep the body nice and still in the landing positions, okay? So 10 each side, off we go. So we're going to go across. Okay, so that's 2 on each side. Going at your own pace, making sure we're coming over so that we land on top of the foot. Okay, that's halfway then. So we want 5 more on each foot. Making sure we're really focusing on the balance as we land on the floor. Okay, 2 more on each side. That's great. Okay, so we're going to take a 20-second break, grab yourself a drink of water, and we'll come back for a second set. Okay, back onto our second set then. We're going to go for the same thing, 10 on either side, focusing on that balance when we land on our one leg. Okay, off we go. Good, really squeezing all the muscles to keep us in that position. Okay, that's halfway, so 5 more. The harder you want to make this exercise, the further you would go side to side. Okay, and once we get to 10 on each side, we're going to take 20 seconds break, grab yourself a quick drink, and then when you're ready, we'll come back for set 3. Okay, let's get into our third and final set of this exercise then. Same thing again, 10 on each side, and then we'll take another quick break. So when you're ready, off we go, out to one side, focusing on that balance as you land on the one foot. And like we said before, the harder you want to make this exercise, the further you would jump to the side. Okay, 5 more on each leg. Nice steady breathing. Last one. Great. Okay, that's the end of that exercise then. So we're going to take 20 seconds break. If you need a quick drink, make sure you grab one, and then we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, so this exercise is called X hops. So if you imagine on the floor that you've got an X or a cross with 4 points, we're going to be hopping from one point and back and then side to side, okay? When I say hopping, we're not going to go super fast between them. We're going to jump forwards, land, jump back, land to one side, and then over to the other, okay? Keeping those landings nice and controlled. We're going to continuously go in that pattern for 20 seconds, and we're going to do that 2 times through on each leg. We'll have a break in the middle, okay? So when you're ready, off we go for 20 seconds. So jump forwards and back to one side and to the other. If you need to put your foot down to reset, that's fine. Just make sure you then lift And we go again. Okay. That's great. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to switch straight onto the other leg. And then once we've done this one, we'll have a quick break. Okay. So swapping legs and off we go for 20. So we're going to come forwards to one side. If you need to put your foot down, just tap down and then back. Forward, back, side, side. Okay. And one more. Back, side, and side. Okay, brilliant. Okay, that's the end of that set. So we're going to have 20 seconds rest. If you need a quick drink of water, make sure you get one, and then we'll come back for the second set. Okay, let's get started on the second set then. So we're going to go back onto the original leg. We're going to go for 20 seconds in that pattern, front, back, and side to side. So off we go for 20 seconds. Just going at your own pace. Remember controlling those landings as we go through the 4 different directions. If you need to put your arms out for balance, feel free. Great. Okay, swap onto the other leg and off we go. Remember, the bigger that you make these crosses, the harder the exercise will be. Okay, nice steady breathing. Great, okay. That's the end of that exercise. Then we're going to have a quick 20-second break. Grab yourself a drink if you need one, and then we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, so for this exercise, we're going to be doing a squat into a calf raise. We need the feet shoulder width apart. The hands can be out in front, over your chest, on your hips, whichever you find most comfortable. We're going to come down into our squat as low as we can. As we rise up, we're going to lift the heels off and go into a calf raise, hold it for a couple of seconds, and then come back down. Okay, so we're going to do 8 repetitions. We're going to do 3 sets with 8 repetitions on the first 2, and then the last set we're going to do until failure, but I'll explain that a little bit more when we get there. So let's go with our first 8. So we're going to go down into our squat. As we come up into our calf raise, hold for a couple of seconds and back down. Okay, really focusing on the balance at the top of that calf raise. Hold for a couple of seconds and back down into a squat. And back up into the calf raise, back down. Okay, that's halfway. Down into our squat. Keeping those knees in line with the toes when we're squatting. Holding that top of the calf raise for a couple of seconds. Finding your balance. One more. So we're going to come down into our squats and up into our calf raise and back down. Okay, let's take a 20-second break. If you need a drink, make sure you get one, and then we'll come back for a second set of the same exercise. Okay, let's get going with our second set then. So again, feet shoulder width apart, Hands either on the hips, out in front, or over the chest, whichever you prefer. Come down into the squat, keeping the knees in line with the toes. Up into our calf raise, hold for a couple of seconds, and drop back down into the next squat. And up into our calf raise. As we drop those heels, we go straight in to our squats. And up into our calf raise, hold for a couple of seconds, and come back down. Okay, that's halfway. So we've got 4 more. Up onto our toes and back down. 3 more. Coming down as low as you can in your squat. And back up as high as you can on your toes. Last one. And up into our calf raise. That's great. Okay, that's the end of that set. Let's take 20 seconds, have a quick drink if you need one, and we will come back for our final sets. Okay, into our final set then. For this one, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to go until failure. So all that means is that you're going to go until you feel like you can't do any more. Whether that's 4, whether that's 12, it doesn't matter. You're just listening to your body and stopping when you feel like you can't go anymore. Okay, so feet shoulder width apart again, hands in a comfortable position, down into our squat, and then up into our calf raise. And down into our squats, up into our calf raise. Okay, so we're not aiming for a specific number here, just going until you feel like you can't do any more of this movement. I'll show you from the side again. Into our squat, and then rise up into our calf raise. Okay. If you can do more than me, that's absolutely fine. Just pause the video, and then when you're ready, come back and start the video again. If not, that's the end of this exercise. So we're going to take 20 seconds, have a quick drink of water, and then we'll come back and start the next exercise. Okay, let's get started with our cool down. So with the cool down, we're going to be focusing on bringing that heart rate back down, bringing our breathing rates back down, and sort of just relaxing the muscles after the class that you've done. So we're going to start off nice and easy with 30 seconds of deep breathing. So for the breathing, I'd really focus on breathing in through the nose and then breathing back out through the mouth. We're wanting those nice deep breaths. So when we are breathing in, try and think about sort of filling the rib cage, and then obviously releasing on the breath out. Okay, we're going to go for 30 seconds all together. Off we go. So like I said, breathing in through the nose and back out through the mouth. And make sure, like we said, we're really trying to fill that rib cage with air when we're breathing in, and then breathing out nice and slowly. You might find that at the moment, because you've just finished the exercises, that it's a bit difficult to slow that breathing rate down, but just go at your own pace. Okay, fab. What we're going to go on to next, again, nice and easy, we're going to go on to some walking on the spots. So in the warm-up before, we were obviously trying to increase our heart rate with the marching and the jogging. This time we're trying to bring it back down. So we're going to go nice and slowly and just walk on the spot. Okay, for 30 seconds, off we go. That's great. So still swinging those arms like we were before, but obviously just in a bit more of a relaxed position on this one, and going a little bit slower. That's great. That's halfway there. Five more seconds. Great. Okay, so this time we're going to move on to doing some hip circles. So we did these in our warm-up before, but again, a bit like the walking, we're going to bring the pace down on this one. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart, hands on the hips, and again, make the circles as small or as big as you can. And we're just going to go big circles with the hips, nice and slowly. We're going to do 30 seconds all together. Off we go. Bringing the pace down a little bit on this one, just moving through the full movement, nice and slowly. We can still concentrate on our breathing in these cool down exercises. So really trying to slow that breathing down. 10 more seconds. Great, okay. For the next movement, we're going to be going down to the floor. So take your time getting down. If you need to hold on to something, then do that. Nice and carefully onto the floor. And we're going to have the feet out in front, legs nice and straight. I want you to try and keep the knees as straight as possible with this one. And then we're going to rest the hands on front of the thighs. From here, we're just going to slide down the legs just as far as you can. And we want to grip on to our legs as close as we can to our ankles, and we're going to hold that stretch for 30 seconds. Okay, so moving down just as far as you can, and then let's hold for 30 seconds. Off we go. Still focusing on that breathing when we're doing this movement, so breathing nice and slowly in and out, and we should feel that nice gentle stretch down the back of the legs. Okay, we're halfway there. 10 seconds left. And 5 seconds. Okay, and sit back up into that relaxed position. We're going to get ourselves back up into a standing position, but again, take your time. If you need to hold on to something to help you get up, then that's absolutely fine. Okie doke. Once we're up then, for the next movement, we're going to be doing some stretches, mobility work for the middle back. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart again. The hands this time are going to come up behind the head. And we're going to be doing 4 different movements. So we're going to be coming down into a forward position, back up and into a slightly extended position. Then we're also going to do some flexion to the side, back up into a middle position and over to the side. Okay, we might add in a little bit of rotation too, just to stretch a few extra muscles. We're going to go for 30 seconds. I want you to go at your own pace, and we're just going to move through all those different movements, just making sure that we're stretching all the right muscles. Okay, off we go all together. So coming forwards, back up into that slightly extended position, and back down, over to the sides, and then rotating. That's great. And again, we're going to move slightly forwards and up and slightly back. Then we're going to lean to the sides. And again, we might go slightly over 30 seconds, but we want to get all those movements back in. And the final rotation. Okay, and then bring the arms back down into our neutral position. We're going to finish off by doing 30 seconds of our deep breathing again. So we're going to go in through the nose, out through the mouth, make sure we're trying to fill that rib cage with air, and then release. Okay, off we go. So hopefully this breathing will be sort of easier now. Hopefully you'll be breathing that a little bit slower. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, really trying to fill that rib cage with air. And down. Brilliant. Okay, well done everyone. So thank you for attending our exercise class today. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope to see you very soon on our next session. Thank you.